Welcome to Shysen773. Thank you so much for checking out my content. For those checking out my content for the first time, I just want to say welcome in. Thank you so much for viewing my video. If you could like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, I would truly appreciate it. For those that have been subscribed the whole time, I just want to say thank you so much for your subscriptions. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your likes. Please continue to like the video. Please continue to watch. I'll have more and more content coming out soon. So today's video is going to be 8 fragrances that I forgot that I loved. So I was going through my fragrances and I was like, man, I forgot about these fragrances. So I just wanted to talk about them a little bit and then kind of get you to see some of the fragrances that I used to either wear all the time or just absolutely love to smell directly from the bottle. So this isn't in any particular order. So I'm going to start off with the first fragrance. So this fragrance is a fragrance that I fell in love with. I went to my local Nordstrom's and ran into an old friend of mine from high school, and he was actually starting a business himself. He was making suits, different things like that, and he was telling me about this fragrance, and he said this is a fragrance that he absolutely loves wearing with a suit. So I was like, really? Okay, let me check it out. So the fragrance that I'm talking about is Carven Pour Homme. So Carven is this spicy, it's like a spicy kind of citrusy type of fragrance. I sprayed some on my skin. I get this, it's almost like a spicy aromatic. So it has a little bit of sweetness in it, but not too sweet. It also is very spicy, and that's what I like about the fragrance. So when you are dressed up, when you are wearing a suit or a sports jacket or anything like that, this is a sexy fragrance. I don't know what they did with this fragrance, but it's so gorgeous. It lasts me about a good 10 hours. I forgot that I loved it, and you see how much juice is in there. I mean, I'm definitely gonna have to revisit this fragrance. This is an EDT, which is surprising that it lasts for so long. So again, that is Carven Pour Homme. The next fragrance that I want to talk about is another fragrance that I found in one of my local Nordstrom's. So this is an older fragrance, but an absolute banger. I picked this up, I think for like $80 at the time, but this one is Salvator Ferragamo's Uomo. So this smells like tiramisu. This is such a gorgeous gourmand fragrance that lasts and projects. It's definitely great for the, I'd say, fall and winter, and then even early spring, but you wear your fragrances whenever you want. I will wear this probably all year round as well, but it's very, very beautiful. So you get like a coffee note, you get spiciness, it has the sweetness as well. It's very well balanced, and it's a very good fragrance. I am not sure, I'm trying to check to see if this is this is an EDT also. So regardless of what people say to you, EDTs do last very long, and sometimes EDTs project a little bit more than EDPs, and that's also oil content. So I'm not sure what the oil content is. It's probably somewhere between 15 to 17. Usually I think 18 to 20 something is where you get your EDPs, and then anything over that I think it's like 25-ish or something like that gives you your extracts. But this fragrance is so good. This is very beautiful. If you get a chance to get your nose on it, super sexy. One of my favorites, and that's Salvatore Ferragamo's Uomo. The next fragrance that I want to talk about is a brand that actually went out of business and then they came back. So that is Commodity, and the fragrance I'm talking about is Wool. So I didn't hear too much about Wool, but I found this at my local Sephora, and what a beautiful fragrance. It's soft, but it projects very well. I get a powdery vibe. I get also about 8 to 10 hours on this fragrance. It's just so beautiful. It's well balanced as well. I think at one point this was going for, I think it was going for $120 or $140 in the store, and then when they went out of business, you could easily find this at TJ Maxx, and this was like $18. So I was kind of kicking myself, but the fragrance is very, very beautiful. Commodity has a lot of other fragrances, including Nectar. There is Book as well, which I think smells a little bit like Le Labo's Santal 33, but this one is a very beautiful fragrance. So if you get a chance to get your nose on this, and that's Commodity's Wool. The next fragrance that I want to talk about is one of my favorite Deisel fragrances. This fragrance, so I love Fuel for Life, but there is something just like ultra sensual about this fragrance. And this one is Deisel Fuel for Life Spirit. So I used to wear this after wearing the other Deisel Fuel for Life, the Homme edition. And this one, I'm just gonna spray it on me. I have to. It's so beautiful. You get this beautiful root beer vibe. It's so gorgeous. I love this fragrance. The way that it projects, the compliments that you get, this is absolutely a banger. This was a club banger back in the day. And I was, again, going through my fragrances, and I was like, I forgot I had this. I really did. I honestly thought that I gave this fragrance away, but found it. I will be wearing this more now, probably in the springtime. It's very heavy for the summertime, but still such a gorgeous fragrance. I think 1 or 2 sprays is perfect. But again, that is Deisel Fuel for Life Spirit. The next fragrance that I want to talk about is a John Varvatos fragrance. So what's funny about this fragrance is that I was in a local Sephora and I kept going and smelling this fragrance. And I was like, you know what? One day I'm going to get it. And then I would spray it on me and I'm like, I don't really like it that much. Literally a half an hour later is when this fragrance shines. And this is John Varvatos Artisan. So this one is like a lemony, you get this lemon vibe. So I'm gonna spray it on me just so I can remember what the fragrance smells like. But up top, there's this lemon vibe. In the beginning, there's something that's warm about that lemon that kind of turns me off a little bit, but I tell you, like in the next 15 minutes, this thing is going to smell so good. It's not a great projector, or it's not good with longevity, but I would respray this over and over, honestly. I get probably about 5 to 6 hours. 6 is like stretching. So it's more about it's more in the 5-hour range. And then it sits really close to the skin, but wow. It's almost like that lemon meringue pie type of vibe that you get with Chanel. God, this smells so good. I'm definitely gonna be wearing this during the summer. You gotta get a chance to get your nose on this one. I think it's going for a lot cheaper than what I bought it for. I think at the time it was only $75 anyways, but I think you can get it for like $40, $50. But gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. And this one's an EDT as well. And then again, that's John Varvatos Artisan. The next fragrance that I want to talk about is from Atiler Cologne. This fragrance, I smelled it for the first time in a Sephora and I was blown away because you have to love cedar fragrances. And I'm a big fan of cedar, woodsy type fragrances. Also things that have very bright and juicy fruity smells. So this fragrance is called Cedar Atlas, and that's from Atiler. So Atiler colognes, they're kind of not known for longevity, and they don't fail that. The longevity in this is not that long, but it's so gorgeous. Again, this is going to give you about the 5 to 6 hour range on this fragrance, but what a gorgeous fragrance. I believe this one is in EDP, and even though it doesn't last that long, it's so gorgeous. Like I'm gonna spray this on me. It smells so good. It's like you get citrus, you get the cedar, but the cedar is so prevalent, but because you're getting that citrus, so it almost smells like there's bergamot in there. And then again, like I said, I'm getting pure citrus and woodsy vibes from this. So it's very gorgeous for the summertime. If you're just going to a movie, going out to dinner, this is perfect. Cedar Atlas. The next fragrance that I want to talk about is a fragrance that I actually got in a fragrance group. I had never heard of this fragrance line at all, and the fragrance line is called So Fine, and the fragrance is called SoOud. This fragrance was described as being in the desert and I guess being in a bazaar. So there's basically gives you like that deserty vibe, and I definitely believe that. So this fragrance is very, very beautiful. I do feel like it's very it's very like sandy. What's the word? I think it would be kind of, so I'm gonna spray it really quick. Oh my gosh, this is gorgeous. I completely forgot about this. There is, so it's fruity. It's also, it has this Middle Eastern vibe. So there is spices. So it's fruity, it's spicy, it's very, very Mediterranean, or not Mediterranean, but you know, like if you were in a bazaar and the wind was blowing and there's sand, and you also smell like the fruits as well and the spices. That's what you get from this fragrance, but it's blended so well. It's so smooth. This is so gorgeous. I guess that's why they call it So Fine. But this is so nice. I get about a good 10 hours of longevity with this one. I'd say like 10 to 12 hours. And it's the sillage with this fragrance. It's so well done. Again, this is Oud Fine's SoOud. The final fragrance that I want to talk about is actually from one of my favorite perfumers, which is Francis Kurkdjian, and this comes from his specific line, and that's Mason Francis Kurkdjian's Oud. So everybody talks about Oud Satin Mood, Oud Silk Mood, but they forget about Oud and how sexy and gorgeous this is. This is sophistication in a bottle. So I would wear this dressed up mostly. This is definitely not a dressed down type of fragrance. So as you see, I have a decent amount of juice in there, but this fragrance, I'm just gonna spray it on just to get the smell, but it is so smooth. I don't have anything like it in my fragrance collection, which is great. So it's a smoother take on oud. It's very French perfumery, which is like smooth, sexy, elegant. Those are some of the words that I would describe this fragrance as. Gosh, there's even like florals that I smell in there as well. It's very well done. It's so beautiful. If you haven't smelled this at all, I would sample this, but this is definitely the grown and sexy. This is MFK's Oud. So thank you so much for checking out my content. I really do appreciate it. Again, thank you and have a blessed day and take care.